What's good, everybody? It's your boy J Schools Phantom. Right now, man, we're gonna get into this topic. We're gonna make it pretty quick. We're gonna make it pretty short, pretty sweet, pretty lovely. We're gonna talk about the consequences of being raised in a very structured, very limited environment from the perspective of when people get born. A lot of times, an individual may get born in some type of system, some type of structure, some type of methodically thought out thought, but that thought a lot of the times came out from another man's mind and shit like that, right? And a lot of the times, just based upon our parents believing in these things and investing their time and energy in these things, a lot of the times our parents, for me, that comes in the form of religion. For other people, it might come in other forms and shit like that. But just based upon our parents, living that out and, their mind being in that space and that being the thing that they believe they need to do, of course, automatically, they're going to enroll you into similar mental programs to run your life by and to into certain structures and systems that they're going to want you to participate in, because a lot of the times where I was at the mosque where I didn't necessarily want to be there, but a lot of times because my parents believed that that was the right thing to do, that was going to be the thing that I needed, but it wasn't really, if anything, that was the thing that I didn't need at all. I just needed to be like a kid. So instead of just being like a normal kid kind of growing up and developing experience and kind of meeting people, just having fun, I found myself like in this situation where it's like, yeah, you can live your life early based upon like a systematic thought and shit like that. But if you don't think and feel on your own, you kind of don't develop your own abilities. You kind of become limited and bounded by this way of thinking and shit like that. Not because it's in your life anymore, but it's more so because like it creates this like arrested development in some areas in your life. Because let's say for example, right? Let's say for example, right? Kids don't really socialize when they might be like in some type of homeschooling situation, some type of situation where they're not really in the outer world like that, interacting, developing like other kids and shit like that, right? So a lot of the times, a person might grow up in the system. Yeah, right now we're talking about the example. My bad, y'all. So yeah, let's say for example, don't end up socializing. Let's say they in this environment that's very limited, very private, and they only allowed to see like certain people and shit like that, whatever it may be. When they grow up, that being shy or being afraid or just kind of like not wanting to communicate might even become like a trait that they have within their personality just because that's what they've been doing their whole life. So it's like I'm saying, a lot of times these religions that people grow up in just really cause us to just be like insecure in certain ways, just kind of like not develop in certain ways, and people go to these religions to facilitate these things for them just based upon the insecurity that they develop and stuff like that, right? So yeah, that's why like me, like I would never want to grow up in some type of like Muslim environment, like never again in my life. I would rather grow up on the streets than do that bullshit, tell you the truth. Because I'm just looking at like what it does when you're an adult. And obviously everyone experience is different, from different culture, from different to culture and blah, from different religion and shit like that, right? But for real, when you do grow up in like some type of structured, systematic environment, it's like a person don't got their own thoughts on how to live life. A person might really just limit themselves to whatever circumstance they was raised in. Because like once you're from age 1 to age 13, that's kind of like once you go through that phase, that's just how your mind is kind of structured. It's how your mind kind of works. And yeah, you can change it when you grow up, because I shifted out of these old phases. I shifted out of a lot of these old phases and shit like that. But a lot of the times, man, I'm telling you, it'd be like that arrested development in that area just kind of fuck you over. Because it's like, man, you really end up like missing certain spectrums in your life, like emotional intelligence or like certain things. Like when I grew up in religion, I noticed a lot of people had like a lot of self-hatred. I noticed that I was developing a lot of self-hatred for myself and shit like that. And then like when I was told, oh, I gotta like find love or something like that, I gotta go do it through some type of religion. Like for me, primarily Islam. Oh, pray to Allah for love. Allah loves all his children. Blah blah blah, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why me personally, I would never want to grow up in any type of structured system, any type of systematic environment, because there's nothing wrong with it. But when we don't update these systems to fit the next shift, next generation, because a lot of religions create this dogma around like, oh, no, this is the word of God and we're not supposed to change it and shit like that. But it's like, it's like when time moves forward, it's like certain material is supposed to be updated because like you're supposed to move forward with the times, not stay backwards in the times. That shit don't fucking make no sense. Cause yeah, man. But yeah, it's like that. That's just my personal experience and shit like that. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people are kind of going through the same thing pretty much, because they just see a certain pattern when growing up, and then they kind of stick to that pattern, even though like different situations in life might present themselves that are contrary to that pattern. But a lot of the times, just because like we already have some type of like cognitive bias by the time we're like 13, just because of how we were raised, what we're thought, and all that stuff. So yeah, man, real shit. But yeah, that's all. Love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Real shit. Peace out.